Καλημέρα σε όλους, καλώς ορίσατε. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to both this very important conference and also to our panel discussion about a topic that has concerned society since time immemorial. From the development of trepanation in the Stone Age to then having bronze surgical instruments in ancient Greece and thermometers in the 18th century and later anesthesia, penicillin, X-rays, I feel like medical innovation has moved societies forward over the centuries. So with me here is Dennis Ostwald, the CEO and founder of WifOR Institute. And I would like to start our discussion by asking you, how does WifOR Institute quantify the social impact of medical innovation?
Thank you, Iliana, for having me here, and great to see you all coming to Athens. It's coming home, kind of. So I'm very pleased to be here today. Thank you for the question. I will answer it immediately, but the first question is, why do we need to measure it?
So that, I suppose, we can understand, and people that are not in the medical profession can all understand why it's so important to continuously strive for medical innovation.
Yes, and this is what I want to express here. First of all, we need to ask the question, why do we need to measure something? Because we have a problem. We have a problem without medical innovations. And the problem is that we have a high socioeconomic burden. We are facing a time where we can't afford ill persons. We need to think about how can we convince people out of our health bubble to invest in health. Not only in medical innovation, also in process innovation, in structural innovation. And this is key. Right? And this is what I want to express here, and what's my key message. We need to see health as a key driver of growth. Without health, we can't grow. And that's the reason why we, since a couple of years, 2 decades, try to find a language to express these needs to other political stakeholders, not to the ministers of health, to the ministers of finance, ministers of labor, ministers of finance, economy, to the presidents of this world. They need to understand without health is nothing.
But usually, especially politicians, I dare say, they understand things better when it's shown in data.
True. And this, thank you, Iliana. And think about the following. I was invited to the G20 meeting in Brazil, and I was allowed to talk to the advisor of President Lula with a study on behalf of SFEE Pharma. And the result, very simple. 1/3 of the cost of illnesses in Brazil creates a damage to GDP of 8.2%.
Wow.
1/3 of the cost of illnesses. And then I said, okay, now multiply it with 3, and you're reaching 1/4 of your wealth. And you not even have started to manage this problem. And this is, now coming back to your question, why we need to express it in monetary terms, that we are facing problems. And the problem is that we have a high socioeconomic burden, which we can't afford in the future. That means that we now need to measure what are the contributions of different sectors, the pharma sector, diagnostic sector, medtech, hospitals, to solve the problem. And this is the approach to start measuring what is the social impact of medical innovations. And this is very simple to calculate. Based on HTA, everyone in this room knows all these clinical trials and HTA assessments and whatever, but you need to translate it in a language politicians understand, and this is GDP. So key results of the first study we did, innovative medicine for cardiovascular diseases creates, and that was groundbreaking, creates, I don't call the name, it's published, everything, but with the introduction of this medicine in the market, you're saving 110,000 life years up to 2030, and this is equivalent to 2.1 billion GDP.
And that's just for cardiovascular disease?
For one medicine.
One medicine.
One medicine.
Where was the study?
In Germany.
Germany.
And and actually it was a recommendation of our former chancellor, Angela Merkel. She said, I was invited to her office, and I said, look here, health economy is the strongest sector in Germany. 12% contribution to GDP, 18% to the labor market, 10% to the exports.
Wow.
Then I said the health industry contributes more jobs, or enables more jobs than the entire automotive industry. And then she stopped and she asked, Mr. So, what shall I do? Shall I invest more or less? Where shall I invest in health? And what does it mean to my voters and to the society? And these questions need to be asked, right? We need to promote that health is beneficial for everyone.
And when she asked whether, I suppose the answer was yes, we should invest more.
No.
But, oh, no, it wasn't yes.
In Greece, yes. Sorry, but in Germany we are investing a lot. But we are not investing smart enough.
We'll come back to Greece for sure, but I wanted to ask you, in Europe or worldwide, what are the latest and most successful case studies of medical innovation and of investing in medical innovation and of the social impact that this has and financial impact potentially that you can think of?
The most recent one is, and I'm really proud of it, is on Saturday we presented together with Harvard University a paper at Age 20, Health 20, in Geneva, in collaboration with the WHO, about the health taxonomy. It means that we need to measure the impact of health investments to society.
Yeah.
In economic terms, in environmental terms, in social equity terms,
sure,
in social impact, and socioeconomic burden. And this, I think this is a groundbreaking work, because now we suggest to G20, and it will be discussed in South Africa, that we have a matrix how to measure on a macroeconomic point of view, what is the return on investment.
But which countries was it based on? Was it just the G20 ones, or
it's scalable to every country in the world, but it's good to have this masterpiece in the hand, because now we can promote that more and more organizations step in and do these calculations, because we need to convince different stakeholders that it's smart to invest in health. We shouldn't talk always within our bubble. We need to find arguments and narratives to convince a minister of finance.
That resonate with other stakeholders as well. But what is a model country when it comes to medical innovation? Who should we look up to, especially in Europe, let's say?
Denmark.
Denmark. Why is that?
They are. It's really impressive. Sometimes you need to see It's not a big country, right? But they are very innovative. They are pushing topics ahead. They have a strong pharmaceutical industry, and I'm really happy that they will have the presidency of the EU coming up, right? Because no other country in the world learned, if I have a strong industry, I'm successful. And they are successful.
Yeah.
They have not only the Novos and others, but they have a strong health industry within their country.
So what are they innovating on? Is it investing on pharma and having more, I don't know, cutting edge drugs, or?
I think they have understood that health industry is a champion sector. They have understood.
So what are they doing?
You can see they give trust to the companies. A lot of startups are popping up there.
Okay.
It's really impressive
So
because they give trust to industry.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's the intersection, I suppose, since you mentioned startups of tech and health.
True.
And you mentioned that Greece should invest more. I know that you have a branch of the WifOR Institute here in Greece for the past 7 years.
Yes, true.
What does the work of the Institute here tell you about the current state of the country when it comes to medical innovation?
First of all, I want to express one aspect. I'm really, if you're talking about investing more in health, you need to consider the following. The new chancellor, Merz, our new chancellor in Germany, and that was maybe one of my biggest successes. It's not my success, but the success of a group of stakeholders. But he was asked from a newspaper, from someone, what are the 6 points you want to immediately change? One out of these 6 was, in the past, we did a mistake. We considered health only as a cost, not as an investment. Next sentence, because the health economy in Germany is the most economic performing sector within our country. That's a game changer, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because and it's true. And he quoted, it's the only sector which grows above average of all other sectors. But this is now, and coming to Greece, that would be a key message to Greece, right? If you are investing more in health, it stimulates GDP, it stimulates employment, it's a driver of growth and employment. And in Germany, I would say we can't invest more in health. We should invest smarter in health because we are investing 12% of our GDP.
That's a lot.
In that. But, and I talk to payers, and I always say, the payer side always says, okay, I have to invest 1 billion a day in Germany into the repair shop, health. But this creates 1 billion GDP.
Yeah.
So coming back to Greece, underinvested.
We're not investing a lot.
Public investment too low.
In every sector of healthcare?
I would say, comparing to other European countries, I would definitely recommend to invest more, do it smart. And this is the next question, where to invest, right?
Exactly. I was about to say, let's get a bit more specific. When we say invest more in public healthcare in Greece, are we talking about hospitals, doctors, nurses, pharma? What are we talking about?
The first thing is, and coming back to my first words, with the investment in health, we should try to solve problems. And therefore, we need to describe the problem. And the problem are diseases, cost of illnesses. That means we need first to analyze what can we do and achieve. The example of Brazil, right? In my opinion, we need to find ways to see these are the disease areas, top 5 priorities, cancer, cardiovascular, diabetes, whatever, right? The damage to society is 2, 3, 4% points of GDP. Okay, now let's tackle this problem and invest to reduce this damage to society smart. Invite the people, invite farmer, medtech, physicians, hospitals, everyone, to reduce cardiovascular diseases. Just an example, right? And that was, if you have, I don't know the numbers right now, but if you have cardiovascular diseases, a socioeconomic burden of 3, in Europe it's around 4.4% of GDP.
Yeah.
Take it for Greece as well. And if you ask physicians, then they will tell you, you can prevent 80% of these events. Or let's take 40%, doesn't matter. But if you can reduce this socioeconomic burden by 1% point, it's 1% point growth. You know, and this is, you need to, I think we need to formulate a problem, and then we need to deliver solutions.
Yeah.
And then we are back to medical innovations, but also to prevention.
So if we take as a given, based on what you told us, that public expenditure in healthcare in Greece is low, that would mean that a lot of sectors might be affected, but you'd still think that the best way to go about it is to prioritize the diseases and how much they affect the society. But I suppose that this would require the collection of significant data in order to estimate how much each disease affects the country and how best to tackle it.
I think it's not a scientific exercise, honestly. The data is available. It's a willingness if they want to take care of this problem. And we need to describe the problem. And we need to describe this problem to the ministers of finance, the ministers of labor, the ministers of economy. Yeah. And just sometimes I would hope that some presidents in the world would act a little bit more like a CEO. Imagine you're leading a country like a CEO. What would you do? The first step would be, I would take care of my employees. Why? Because they are working for my margin.
Especially employees who are growing older, because obviously in Greece, as in most of the European countries, there is a huge demographic problem. So you do need a healthy population, partly because it's also your workforce, and which will continue being.
And this is, Alina, that's exactly the most important topic. You need to talk to economists, not only in Greece, in Germany, in Europe. We have an elderly society. If you forecast, I always say our healthcare systems, we can finance our healthcare systems today. But please, forecast the demographics, and then I feel fear. But this is really, we need to manage it, right? We have elderly societies. We do know what will happen. And if you would forecast the socioeconomic burden up to 2035, in Greece or in Germany, there is need for action.
So we have 1 minute left, and obviously I think the whole world has been watching what has been happening geopolitically in the past few months, but especially in the past few days. In a climate like this, how important do you think that this aspect is of society's medical innovation when it comes to, should it be a priority, basically?
Absolutely. I see 2 golden decades of Europe. Honestly, I see 2 golden decades of Europe. But only if some aspects will be done. And one aspect is we need in Europe a workforce which is healthy. Otherwise, we can't grow.
Let's conclude here. Thank you so much, Dennis, and thank you very much for watching our discussion. And I would like to call to the stage my esteemed colleague, Apostolos Magiriadis.